In December 1530, Babur, founder of the Mughal Empire, faced a foe no army could conquer, death itself. His beloved son and heir, Humayun, lay unconscious, dying from an unknown illness. Babur, a man who had fought for his empire his entire life, whispered to his son, "I fought so you wouldn't have to. I lied." The aging emperor, ruler of a vast territory, was now just a father, helpless before the impending loss of his child. This is the story of Babur's final battle, a battle not for land or glory, but for the life of his son. 4 years earlier, after his monumental victory at Panipat, Babur should have felt triumph. He had conquered Hindustan. Yet, sitting on his new throne in Delhi, all he felt was an overwhelming emptiness. He confessed in his private diary, "The Baburnama, Hindustan, is a strange country. The people are different. The language is different. Even the air tastes different." He ruled millions, but felt utterly alone, a stranger in a strange land. He tried to recreate a piece of his Central Asian home by building magnificent Persian-style gardens, his one comfort, his one solace. But even there, eating a melon grown in Indian soil, he was reminded of his loss. He wrote, "The melons here are tasteless, not like Fergana. Nothing here is like home." He had conquered a subcontinent, but had lost himself in the process. Winning a throne is one thing, keeping it is another. The Afghan nobles who had surrendered soon rebelled. The powerful Rajput confederacy, led by the formidable Rana Sangha, refused to accept a foreign ruler. At the Battle of Kanwa in 1527, Babur again had to strap on his armor. He fought with the ferocity of his youth, personally leading charges against a superior force. He won, but each victory came at a greater cost. The years of constant warfare were taking their toll. He was getting old, and India was a relentless, unforgiving challenge. His council meetings were a chorus of disasters. New uprisings, an emptying treasury, restless soldiers demanding to return home. One day, overwhelmed, he finally admitted to his court, "I have fought for 45 years. I am tired." But an emperor does not rest. So neither do I amidst the loneliness and chaos of his reign. Babur's greatest joy was his son, Humayun. He saw his own reflection in the young man, his passions, his vulnerabilities. In a rare moment of peace, he sat with Humayun, sharing wine and a harsh truth. He warned his son, "When I die, and I will, soon enough, this empire will try to tear itself apart. Your brothers will want the throne. The nobles will scheme. The Afghans will rebel." He looked his son in the eye, his voice heavy with the weight of experience. "You must be stronger than I was, more ruthless when needed, more merciful when possible. And you must learn to love this land, 'cause I never could." It was a father's plea, a king's burden passed to his heir. Humayun moved to tears, promised not to fail him. But fate had a cruel twist in store. In November 1530, during a royal feast, Humayun suddenly clutched his stomach and collapsed. It was poison. Someone had tried to assassinate the heir to the throne. For days, the prince's condition worsened. He was consumed by fever, racked by convulsions, until he slipped into a coma. The royal physicians tried everything, but they were powerless. The head physician delivered the grim news to Babur. There was no cure. Humayun had only days, perhaps hours, left, alone with his son. The great conqueror's composure finally broke. He wept, whispering, "Not you. Please, not you." In his desperation, Babur remembered an old Sufi ritual, mystical act of substitution. The tradition spoke of a spiritual exchange, a life for a life. With renewed determination, Babur entered Humayun's chamber at dawn. He dismissed the attendants and physicians. Alone, he began to slowly circle his son's bed, praying with every step. 7 times the sacred number. "O God who holds all life, hear me," he began. "I offer my life for his. Take mine, spare him." With each circle, his prayer grew stronger. his resolve firmer, even as his own body began to feel the strain. He is young. He has much to give. I am old. My time is past. On the seventh and final circle, he declared, let his life be long. Let mine be done. Amen. He stood, waiting, and then a gasp. Humayun's eyes fluttered open. Father, he whispered weakly. Overcome with joy, Babur fell to his knees, embracing his son. But as he held him, Babur clutched his own chest and collapsed. Humayun recovered completely within days. Babur never did. For the next 3 weeks, the emperor's health declined rapidly. On December 26, 1530, surrounded by his family, Babur lay on his deathbed. Humayun, holding his father's hand, wept. This is my fault. You did this for me. Babur, with the last of his strength, managed a faint smile. Best trade, Tate, I ever made, he whispered. His final instructions were clear. Rule well. Be just. Love this land better than I did. And then, one last request. Do not bury me here. Take me home. With that, Zaharuddin Muhammad Babur, the first Mughal emperor, died at the age of 47. His final wish was to be returned to Kabul, the city he loved. But the journey was long and perilous, so he was first buried in a garden he himself had designed in Agra. 9 years later, his remains were finally moved. He was laid to rest on a hillside in Kabul, under the open sky, just as he had wanted. There is no grand mausoleum, no towering monument, just a simple marble tomb in a garden overlooking the mountains he adored. The inscription reads, "If there is a paradise on earth, it is this, it is this, it is this." Even in death, he remained a poet. So what is Babur's true legacy? It's the empire his descendants would build his grandson, Akbar the Great. His great-great-grandson Shah Jahan, who built the Taj Mahal, an empire that lasted 300 years and forever shaped the culture of India. But his greatest legacy was not conquest. It was his words. His diary, the Baburnama, is a revolutionary text. For the first time, a powerful emperor wrote not just of victory, but of failure, fear, loneliness, and love. He wrote about crying when he tasted a melon that reminded him of home. He didn't write as a god. He wrote as a man. Today, his diary is studied not for military strategy, but for its profound insight into the human heart. Did Babur's ritual actually save Humayun? Or was it a coincidence, the final act of a man already succumbing to illness? Historians debate, but the story endures. Years later, Humayun stood at his father's grave in Kabul, now an emperor in his own right. He spoke to the tomb. The doctors say it was coincidence, but I choose to believe you made that choice, because that's who you were, a man who could conquer kingdoms, but valued one life above all. Perhaps that is how Babur would want to be remembered. Not as a conqueror, not as an emperor, but as a man who loved deeply, fought fiercely, and in his final act chose love over life. Thanks for watching. If you found this story as moving as we did, please like, subscribe, and share. We'll see you in the next chapter of history.